Yeah, you know what this is. Hey, this is not white.
I'm Demetrius. I'm joined by Habibi Ali over to my right. And at the bottom of our Brady Bunch triangle, we got Rock tonight, homies.
I'm a bottom. Yeah.
Clearly by all the flex, and he's a power bottom. I was a philosopher even in kindergarten, man. I didn't understand it. I was like, what is this? What is the school thing? Okay, it's recess now. I get to go outside. Now, what am I doing outside? What is this place? I don't want to be here.
What are these arbitrary breaks?
What are these breaks? I got to color now? Okay, I'm coloring. I'm done coloring. I don't want to color no more. I got to keep coloring? You're telling me I got to keep...
Only 10 crayons to choose from. Racism.
Boy, it really just, it didn't sit right with me from a very early age. And I just never recovered from that.
But I really, in order to do that, I really need to give myself that creative license to say that the effect that this has, I can't think about it. I got to just enjoy the moment of doing it. I can't think about the effect. You know what I'm saying? I can't. And that's still there because the real world is there. I think the reason it's hard to do by yourself is because you kind of project the expectations of people around you as opposed to what's really around you, what people really think of you. Because like in my head, I'm going to be thinking people are going to be looking out their window and thinking, oh, there's that, rabble rouser brownie, making his
rabble rouser
politically incorrect sketches there.
I'm God.
Man, what you been up to?
Man, listen, I've just been telling the truth and just opening people's eyes to the fucking illusions of life, you know what I'm saying? Trying to make people see beyond their normal sight because people are blind to the reality.
I mean, it's hard to trust stuff when computers are involved because it's so easy to rig them.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point.
It's one time I was in Cambodia and we went to this casino, like little corner store casino. All the games were electric. We all lost all our money.
There's a fucking mad scientist somewhere in the back, like, haha, I got your money, American. You're wrong. Your opinions are wrong, and your face is stupid.
All these things, the change that we want to affect, if we want to affect it, if we think it's just enough to affect, we have to be a little bit more in control of ourselves. We have to be more ourselves. We have to have some ownership of ourselves.
Right.
And you can't have that too much. I think it's hard to have that in America. I think consumerism in general makes that hard. I think we all sell our souls just a little bit.
Yeah, now we're all trying to purchase an identity. Back in the day, it was always the conservative right with the family, traditional Christian values that were controlling everything,
Wait a minute.
Okay.
I want to interject something real quick here.
Okay.
But you're talking about this
pendulum. I want to cut in.
Yeah, man. Well, you did some asshole shit. I think it's better than being concerned about what asshole shit you may or may not have done.
What? Speaking of Jesus, okay? Speaking of Jesus, hold on. Wait, I heard Jesus. So speaking of Jesus, okay? What's with Jesus? Right? Like, is he white, brown, black? He's definitely not white.
He's like, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. He called the fat dude bladder. He's like, you too, bladder. Hey, man,
dude, I think there's something to that. I think it's because he was older.
I studied him a lot, man, like growing up.
Yeah. Oh, he's the perfect one to study. That thing, like they say about comedy, is tragedy plus timing, right? I think the more life you live, I mean, not to be sad about it, but you're exposed to more tragedy. You just see more, shit, right? So you're ready to convert that energy in a more real, grounded, amazing way. There are certain performers, and when you see them talk, and you see them perform, you're like, huh. There's something in his eye there. There's something like, it seems like time is going on differently. You kind of have that yourself too, actually. I would say, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a weird dude. I mean, I pretty much just embrace that.
All right, I'm out.
What's the criteria to be popular for a Zoom party? What do you do?
Man, it's like the same stuff to be popular for a regular party, except you're invited online.
It's what? You're lagging in.
It's the same
You're what?
criteria. It's goddamn it. I'd said it's basically the same criteria as for a regular party, except it's
The only thing I can keep hearing you say is it's the same criteria. It's the same criteria. It's the same criteria.
Sure, with a robot face, smiley face. Dang. That means, dang. That means, what does that mean? Don't try to be funny, just try to be real, right?
True,
And what you want to do and love to do it. And then it will become relatable. And then in that, you'll find humor, right? As a community.
If you're a celebrity and somebody sends you an insult, like you can go to their Twitter account, you can see their family, their dog, you can see that they're a freaking Yankees fan. Like everybody's life is just laid out. So it's like the performer, the audience member, the security guard that kicked you out, you can look him up on Facebook, see what he's into,
The security guard that kicked you out.
36 African-American Navy SEAL tells his story. That's probably a pretty interesting story. Is there a movie version? I realized that, oh crap, all these people were racially fucking with me, saying woo, 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 woo.
Yeah.
And my dumbass was like, yeah, here's your boy.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that for sure. That was, I think I still struggle a little bit with that because I almost do it, I think I maybe always done it somewhat intentionally. Like if somebody's trying to fuck with me, I just try to flip the script, right? Just kind of like, change the narrative and trying to go along with it. I mean, I was almost too much like that. If somebody would make a your mama joke, I was like, yeah, her pussy's delicious. Like, whoa. This is how insecure comedians are. we get a laugh and it's like, what the fuck is that about? It also kind of reminds me of like the last scene out of every apocalypse movie where like the guy's on the camera and like, let me tell you my thoughts.
Oh man.
I remember like every 90s movie was like, the asteroid is coming and I just want to tell my baby girl I love her. That Duck and Larry are talking. Two professionals right there.
Quack, quack. You know what I'm saying?
Tell me more about this quack.
You have that ever? I'm sure you do.
Oh, what, that feeling of not doing what I know I should be doing? Yeah, all the time, man. All the time. That's my whole life.
Right. Nothing more disappointing than expecting a power bottom and then getting a weak bottom. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
That's got to be horrifying. So this is like
Horrifying?
Horrifying. You got to pie that.
Horrifying. I get it now.
Too much.
Too much horrifying.
Here. You're over there on this side.
So I'm pointing to you and you're pointing to me?
Yep.
So I like non-whites because there are always been and are currently several examples of colored and minorities people retitled in a way that satisfies white people's feelings. I'll stop there and give you an example, as in minorities, colored people, people of color, things like that. And now BIPOC. I just
it's too soft for you.
It just satisfies them, and they're appeased by it. They're like, okay, we're okay with labeling you guys what you are: brown, people of color.
My thing with the content I try to put out, I don't want it to be fully polished. I want it to be
right. Like the joke is already solid enough, which makes you laugh. But then when you're just like, when you're not being pretentious about it, when you're not like, all that kind of stuff, it's incredibly, it's wonderful, man. It's really good.
Yeah, that sight begins within yourself. You know what I'm saying? And until you have the inner vision within yourself, you'll never see. You understand?
That's true.
So inner vision begins within.
What's up?
Yeah, man, I was just talking shit about Habib.
Yeah, bitch. I see you.
I think there's all this media out there that does kind of push a message of some kind, and okay, whatever. But when you start pushing that message internally, when you start doing that stuff yourself, like the one thing I think needs to stop as soon as possible is this whole idea of like, and very similar to this cancel culture. You see it on Facebook or something, unfriended. I don't see it anymore, and it's like, would you put a
because you've been unfriended
on you? Just if you had murders outside your house, would you just say they're not there? It's like, just look around. If you're threatened by it, even, that's especially when you should see it, right? I mean, isn't a threat something you do not ignore?
No.
And the real truth is, it's not a threat. It's not even a threat. It's just a point of view. It's an opinion.
Man, we're talking about hard times.
Real talk, motherfuckers. We're talking about real motherfucking issues right here. Personal and international and domestic and non-personal. All of the issues.
You don't like the idea of being labeled something just to make somebody else super comfortable.
Correct. So as a joke and a punch,
right.
I like shouting non-whites, because now whites are like, what about non? Like, why aren't we excluded? And you know that it always triggers white people when they're excluded. So my diabolical thing here is to trigger white people, because it's easy when you give them the idea that they're excluded from something. Right. I mean,
dude, YouTube is still my favorite. I think we had a whole podcast on this one time, right? Like,
yeah, we
YouTube
did.
is just boss with everything. You don't see any YouTube executives being pulled into Congress asking questions like, "What did you do? What's with that cat video playing?"
Why did it get so many views?
I don't understand.
Like, good job, Lorne Michaels. Like, well done. But it's not something you need to make every 20-year-old real comedian try to aspire to be for the next 60 years or something.
And I think he's doing it through the means of journalism. And I think that's what makes people mad, right? Dimitri's just shaking his head. Well, we've been saying for a while, it's almost like there's such a responsibility on comedians now to deliver something very thought-provocative and controversial sometimes. I always go back to the South Park guys. I think they're so interesting to me, particularly because what I initially fell in love with them for when I was younger was the way they were able to tackle really controversial political topics. Like, can you show the Prophet Muhammad or something like that, the cartoon episodes? I used to think that was the most engaging, oh man, this is the stuff. When now I really realized what was far braver, what took maybe way more courage, was to really go and follow through with the Mr. Hanky episodes.
No.
This idea that you're going to have this little piece of shit.
Oh my God.
The entire thing. The Prophet Muhammad said, "Yeah, that's easy." That's low hanging fruit. But who could really do something with the piece of shit Santa Claus? Like that's
Yeah, it takes a lot of bravery to be dumb.
it really does to be that dumb and to stick to it, to do it for 30 minutes straight, and to do it with like such like commitment.
Oh man,
That's to me, those are the episodes that I go after now. You know, like that's the kind of I respect that so much. I really, really do.
You guys don't know, man. His son is funny as fuck.
Yeah.
And this dude is camera ready. He is ready for the lights.
Man, that's
He's
cool.
ready for his moment. He's a personality and a real character, and I'm telling you, he's a good kid to see on TV.
Has he said? Has he shown the interest for it? Has he shown like he's got?
I was over here, man. He probably having a fit, but he was asleep when I left.
He's like, I was supposed to go with you. You're in a podcast without me?
I wanted to pod.
Come on, fam.
I like to pod.
To me, what it really comes down, what I call it, I think we live in this, the time period I call this is the I civilization. I think everything is so customized to our own wants and desires and our own quirks that we don't ever really leave those bubbles the way we need to in order to really flesh out what really is important. Because honestly, like all the problems of the world, I really think, maybe this is me a little heavy-handed, but if we weren't really distracted with the nonsense of ourselves, which we have to admit is there within each of us, we'd probably be hidden the real shit eventually. You know what I mean? Like there's only so long you can avoid, you know, your foot being gnawed off. You're gonna eventually address this issue. And we've managed to, in a really interesting way, avoid having your feet gnawed off. You know, I kind of touched on it, maybe not very eloquently earlier, but what I mean by the whole 9/11 conspiracy, I just feel like, you know, if there's a conspiracy, if there is going to be a conspiracy out there of like, you know, governments control you, I just genuinely think the best way they're going to do it is by distracting you with yourself.
We should do a whole show in Indian accents.
That would be amazing.
No,
That
it
would be amazing.
stupid.
It was always like a dream of mine to like go an entire school year of just having nothing but an Indian accent, and like the last day I'd be like, "Yo, what's up, y'all?"
Yeah, exactly.
I've always wanted that. I could never commit.
You know, sometimes I think about the theme song to Friends, just like, you know, sometimes it just hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year, you know? You just go through hard times sometimes, man. I know it's like the whitest thing I could have said on this podcast.
That is the most Caucasian I've ever heard be.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, this the motherfucking show. Hey, this the motherfucking show. We got Demetrius, Habib Ali, Habibi Ali, R.O. to the K, but no fucking C. So this is just three brown dudes in a hat without C. But hey, you know what? We are M-E-I-M-P to the R-O-B. That's improv with your motherfucking ass. What you know about that ass? And I just passed on some gas. If you're a relatable dude or a person, if you're just a relatable person and you just share what you want, you don't have to worry about if your art or work is relatable. If it's coming from a relatable source, then it's always gonna be that, right?
Yeah.
So whatever that you end up doing will always be consumable by most people.
Right.
You can always still employ all the, you know, minority and the black people that, you know, we want to see be the faces more than other thing. But at the end of the day, if you're coming from that genuine people's like root, then it's always gonna be. I went the longest, I mean years, without busting out the Indian accent on stage.
Oh yeah.
I was totally against it because we know why, right?
Sure,
There's all these fucking white people, and here I am coming out with an Indian accent. Typical Indian guy.
You know what,
No,
who said it?
fuck you.
Who was it? I think it was Russell Peters, maybe, who said it, right? Like the Canadian. Yeah, right. Hassan. But he was just kind of like, I don't think Indian people realize, like, it's kind of like the Irish accent. It's just funny sounding. I'm sorry to say. Like, it's very nice and lyrical and funny sounding. It's nothing wrong. Yeah. But it is funny sounding.
It's like, even like, how do you say, like, every culture does that. Like, how do you say that? Like, and then the Greeks, like, true. How do you say,
what
like,
how you say? Yeah. I love it when they take away the do. It's just how you say.
How you say? The key words are always best missing.
True.
How
Very
come
true.
you know what?
You make me. I want to call my uncle right after this. Just like give him a big hug. That's why I just get so frustrated with the apathy. It's like.
Well, whose apathy are you frustrated with?
Mine,
your own. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's very frustrating.
So basically, you're saying you don't. Oh boy, I feel like a real talk show host now. So basically, what you're saying is you don't care enough to take action. Is that what you're saying?
Dr. Phil, lay off me, man. You gotta get a hold of it. Cash me outside, man. You cash me outside.
Anyway. God damn!
Oh my God.
Oh my God! Have you heard of a pizza cutter? Holy shit!
Giant pyre.
Here's a beep.
You either can take the shot and miss it, or you can choose to not. And that's where the power is. I think people don't want to give up their power, because when you have the ball, you've got the power. I can choose to shoot this, or I can hold on to it. But, as soon as you let go, it's out of your hands, whether you're going to make it, whether it's going to go out into the crowd, all this kind of stuff. It's happening now. And so it's like people would rather, I think, sometimes just keep it within their power rather than lose control and have that failure. It's like I would rather avoid it than have the failure. But again, in going for it, it's like in taking the shot, if that's what you want, I mean, that's the only way to get it. So it's like, to me, it's more so like, do you want to make the points more, or do you want to avoid missing the shot more? That's the battle.
Let's switch it all the way and ask Demetrius, because he presented this. Why the fuck are you so much on John Oliver's nuts about this?
I don't know how we got onto the subject of it, but my opinion.
I need, hold on. Habibi's closing, and then Demetrius closing. Answer that question, and we'll go to the next debate. Cool?
So I can try. I can try.
Why, Demetrius, are you on John Oliver's nuts?
Is Habib going to answer the same question?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's going to give his commentary.
I'm going to give a long answer. Okay.
All right. Well, that's kind of messed up, but all right, whatever. I'll go first.
Is there anybody in the chat?
I don't know, man. There's chat potential. People who want to know about us can talk to us.
Yeah.
But as of right now, they're not. I don't want to put any pressure on them,
No. I never know how this works. I don't know if you Truman Show it. Do you pretend like no one's out there, or do you like?
Yeah. It's like if they don't acknowledge you, don't acknowledge them.
Yeah.
We need to get away from religion, politics, politricks, religion and education, and because the only true education is self-education. Because everything else outside of self-education is programming.
Right,
It's
and
programming.
that disappears.
You're being
That fades
programmed.
away for
Anytime you sit in a class, anytime you sit in a class full of people, you know, and they want everybody to think the same, you know what I'm saying? That's programming. That's not education.
Sure, you're right. You know what this kind of reminds me of? You ever watch Seinfeld? Of course you watch Seinfeld. You know the episode where Kramer starts going to work 9 to 5 in the suit? And he has no idea what he's doing. He comes home and he's like, it's been a crazy day. Yeah.
He had a briefcase too. He had his lunch in his briefcase or something like that.
That is so. When I watched that as a kid, I was like, I wonder if adult is going to be like that. And it's so closer to that than I realized. It's so much closer to that.
Exactly that. What are you talking about? You go to work not knowing what the fuck you do. You come back
like,
a nicer suit
than crazy. I'm so casual. I don't even bring a bag to work. I just show up. Good day, folks.
You're not confident. That's what that is.
Hey, I just show up with a pen in my pocket. Ready to write. Ready to take notes. Always prepared.
You sure you got that? I'll remember that. Good memory.
I wrote it down, remember?
Yeah, my pen. Well, I keep this thing. We're professional.
Good marks. Good marks. He's got the pen. And to grind it out and build something from nothing, you know?
That's because people always need a price tag out of it. You know, there's something different about those people that kind of just get into their craft, whether that's lucrative or not. You know what I'm saying? And it's different than motherfuckers that just go to a regular job and really do nothing. I mean, you might have a hobby of working out or, I don't know, jerking off, whatever the fuck your dumbass hobby is.
Right.
It's not the same as those people who are like in an arts environment or an entertainment environment, but more so arts and creative aspect of creating and building and learning and growing with that thing. Regular fucking people just don't understand what that requires mentally and the space you have to, reserve for that mentally and in real time. And so I don't give a fuck about those people always. Those are the people who don't try in life. Anything. You ain't gotta be creative. I'm just saying those are the people who don't same people who don't know how to cook. Don't know how to clean properly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, and maybe they do, but whoa, cool, dude. You're doing things that you should already know how to do. I'm a big advocate to go travel by yourself. Go to cities that you've never been to by yourself and just, just vacation by yourself. Go sightseeing by yourself, explore a city by yourself. That time away from your element and your comfort zone and your scene, but still remaining yourself and not being accountable for other people and responsibilities is going to teach you tremendous amount of yourself, good and bad.
I mean, it seems like it'd be easier to just change the name of white people to something else. All right, well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Cross your fingers, folks. There might be something interesting going on right now. Or there might be some bullshit. I suppose
it might be some bullshit.
It might be some bullshit. There's a good chance.
Well, it's kind of like what is a more cliche way of putting that. It's like following your joy or like following your light, right? Like whatever it is that sparks that interest. You don't have to like hide that so much. Actually follow it, uncover it.
Yeah.
Follow that through. It's kind of like how I used to do writing. Like any good writing that happens, like you want to see my first draft of anything. It's like it looks like a madman. You look at that sheet of paper, like none of the stuff really makes sense, but it's just to get everything out there. And then I just start picking what it is I like and, start playing with that. But you can't do it and you can't put that pressure on yourself that it has to be perfect right out the gate or this has to be something you have to commit to. That's wild,
Yeah, but so a strong relationship is that always need to go back and restructure that piece.
Right.
You're not giving up on writing because you wrote a few whack things.
Right. No, exactly. Yeah. And you use it. You're not afraid of it.
You use it. Right.
It's not a waste of time. The young years when we were hoeing around and all that stuff, none of it was a waste of time. It's
not a waste of time.
This is good damn comedy to me. I don't know what y'all think, but I think this is good damn comedy.
This is it.
Brown, 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 You know what the realest fucking reward is, man? Especially for a creator and a creative that's always creating and feeling like, fuck, when is my, like, I just want to get to a tipping point, right? I just want to get to a point, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reward is actually being proud of yourself of the shit you've done. Like, for real, legitimately. Like, it's out there. I don't give a fuck about who fucked with it, but people fucked with it. And if they didn't fuck with it, I fuck with it heavy. Like your puppet thing. I hope you're proud of that shit. The sock puppet. It was amazing. But as long as that's the realest reward, man. And you gotta really fucking appreciate that shit. If you didn't, no one else is gonna reward you with shit.
That was my birds and the bees talk with my mom. You know, let me go. I had a single parent. It wasn't all into death. You know, it was just beware of anxious pussy. It just stuck with me, man. Like if a chick like super eager to give it to you and you barely know her, like.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, one comes to my mind in particular right now.
On poison. Don't trust the big butt and smile.
That girl is poison.
That's it. It's Wolf Blitzer, man.
It's the wolf.
Barbershop. I'm gonna ask him. Give me the Wolf Blitzer.
Give me the wolf.
Give me the wolf.
Just give me the wolf. Just howl at the moon. They know what you mean.
Need to do. They need to let Wolf Blitzer like howl when he does this like sign off. I'm Wolf Blitzer. That's the news. You're probably gonna feel maybe a little different about it having a son compared to having a daughter. My guess.
I think so.
Yeah,
I mean,
but girls can break hearts.
These
hoes ain't.
I mean, he gonna get his heart. He gonna get his heart broke, man. But
yeah.
I just can't wait to be. If it's one that I don't really care for, like
I told you.
Yeah.
Like
you got to make sure somehow they stay connected to humanity, because I don't think Wolf Blitzer is human anymore, man. I think he's more a wolf than he is human at this point.
He's gone feral. Wolf Blitzer has gone feral, folks.
I can just see like the producers with like a tranquilizer sniper. They're ready to take him out at any moment.
TV's really always been voyeuristic, you know? Just like watching these people, watching their lives play out. They don't know you're there. You know, you're just seeing their struggles, their relationships, and they're just living their lives. And you're just out there and they don't know. Just watching them.
They have no clue.
No clue.
But it always feels so personal, though, you know? Every time they look at the camera or something, it's just like, oh, man, they're looking at me. I know it. I belong in that shit.
Non-white episode.